The passing of these cast members reminds us that time moves on, but the impact of their work remains. The Rifleman was more than just a television show. It was a reflection of values, struggles, and the importance of family. Lucas McCain and his son Mark showed us the balance of strength and kindness, while the other characters made North Fork feel like a place we could all belong. Today, even though many of the stars are gone, their performances still inspire new generations through reruns and streaming platforms. Each actor, whether in a leading role or a small part, left behind something valuable. Their stories both on screen and in real life continue to touch hearts. As fans, we can look back with gratitude, remembering the joy they brought into our homes. While death has claimed them, their legacies live on every time an episode plays, reminding us of a simpler time when lessons of honesty, love, and justice were taught through the barrel of a rifle and the heart of a father. When we talk about the golden age of television, The Rifleman always comes up as one of the most important shows. It was not just a Western. It was a program that blended action, drama, and family lessons all in one. Unlike other shows of the time that focused mainly on gunfights and adventure, The Rifleman stood out because of its heart. The bond between Lucas McCain and his son Mark gave it emotional weight. Every episode showed struggles, but also solutions, often centered on values like honesty, loyalty, and kindness. This mix made it popular with adults and children alike. Parents loved that their kids could learn something meaningful while still being entertained. Beyond that, the strong characters made people feel connected, almost like they were part of the McCain family. Even decades later, reruns of The Rifleman continue to attract audiences because these messages are timeless. People still admire shows that teach lessons through storytelling, and that is why this Western is more than just a memory. It is part of American culture. The cast of The Rifleman is remembered with great love because they gave life to characters that felt real. Chuck Connor's role as Lucas was powerful because he wasn't just a cowboy with a gun. He was a father first, and that made him unique. Johnny Crawford as Mark represented innocence and growth, which many young viewers related to. Paul Fix as Micah, the sheriff, showed wisdom and guidance, acting almost like a grandfather figure to the younger characters. Together, they formed a strong team that audiences trusted. Fans still talk about how each actor added something special to the show. They weren't just reading lines. They poured emotion into every scene. For example, when Lucas gave advice to Mark, Chuck Connor's delivery made it sound like real fatherly advice. Johnny's youthful energy reminded people of their own childhood struggles. This natural acting is what made the show feel real, and it's the reason fans continue to celebrate these actors long after they passed away. The love for the cast proves that good acting can live forever in people's hearts. Chuck Connor's story did not end with The Rifleman. After the show, he became an icon of television westerns, often being invited to play similar roles in other programs. But what made him truly special was his ability to balance his sports background with his acting career. Before Hollywood, he had already lived a life full of achievements, and that confidence showed on screen. His tall frame and commanding presence made him a natural fit for cowboy roles, but his ability to show emotion gave him depth as a character. Fans loved that he wasn't one. Beyond acting, Connors was known for his kindness off-camera too. People who met him often said he was approachable and friendly, never too proud to greet fans. His passing in 1992 was a sad moment for many, but his work continues to inspire actors who want to play strong yet emotional characters. Connors proved that an actor could be tough and tender at the same time, and that is a lesson modern television still uses today. Johnny Crawford's career after The Rifleman took him into music and other shows, but he was always remembered as Mark McCain. Audiences watched him grow up on screen, and that left a deep impression. Many fans saw him almost like a son or younger brother, and this emotional connection stayed even as he aged. His music career showed his versatility, as he successfully moved from acting to singing, becoming a teen idol of his time. However, no matter what he did, people always connected him back to The Rifleman. Later in life, when he faced health struggles, many fans and fellow actors came forward to support him, showing how much love he had earned. His death in 2021 was heartbreaking, but fans continue to share clips of his performances online, keeping his memory alive. The way Johnny touched hearts shows how child actors, when given meaningful roles, can become lifelong symbols of innocence and hope. His legacy is proof that even though people may pass, their contributions remain forever alive in culture and memory. While Lucas and Mark were the center of the story, The Rifleman would not have been as strong without its supporting characters. Sheriff Micah, played by Paul Fix, added wisdom and stability, showing viewers the importance of guidance and community leadership. He wasn't flashy or loud, but his presence made the show stronger because he provided balance to Lucas's fiery energy. Other recurring characters also gave depth to the show's world, reminding viewers that North Fork was a living community with many stories. These roles might not have been as large, but they helped create the feeling of a real town where people relied on each other. Without them, the show would have felt empty or too focused on just two people. Supporting actors may not always get the same recognition as leads, but in this case, they were vital. They made the storylines richer and helped teach lessons about cooperation, friendship, and community responsibility. That is why many fans still remember not just Lucas and Mark, but the whole cast that made the show special. The Rifleman did not disappear. After its final episode, it continued to inspire other shows and actors. Later television programs borrowed from its formula of mixing action with family values. Even in modern series, we see characters who are both protectors and caregivers, much like Lucas McCain. The idea that a hero can also be gentle came largely from this show. Filmmakers and TV writers have openly admitted that the balance between toughness and heart in westerns was influenced by The Rifleman. The show also influenced how father-son relationships are portrayed on screen, reminding creators that audiences love to see family bonds at the center of a story. In this way, The Rifleman became more than entertainment, it became a model for storytelling. Young actors today can still learn from the performances of Connors, Crawford, and Fix, because they represent natural, emotional acting that feels real. This lasting inspiration proves that the show was ahead of its time, setting a standard that is still respected in Hollywood. One of the reasons The Rifleman stays alive today is because of reruns and tributes. Television channels still air episodes, and streaming platforms have made it possible for new generations to discover the show. Many younger viewers who never lived through the 1950s or 1960s are surprised by how modern the themes still feel. The lessons about honesty, justice, and family remain relevant, and that is why reruns attract attention even now. Fans also keep the memory alive through tribute websites, fan clubs, and social media groups where they share stories, photos, and memories of the actors. Tribute videos on YouTube often collect millions of views, proving that the cast is still deeply loved. Every anniversary of a cast member's passing brings new posts and comments, showing that these actors are not forgotten. Remembering them this way not only honors their lives but also introduces them to people who might not have known about the show before. Through these efforts, The Rifleman and its cast remain timeless. Looking back, The Rifleman was more than just a television show, it was a story about life, growth, and values that never go out of style. The cast gave performances that touched hearts, and even after their deaths, they continued to inspire and teach. Chuck Connors showed us the strength of being both tough and loving. Johnny Crawford reminded us of the beauty of innocence, and Paul Fix demonstrated the wisdom of guidance. Together, they created something that still feels alive today. The legacy of The Rifleman proves that television, when done with heart, can live forever. Fans keep watching, remembering, and celebrating because these stories still matter. The show may have ended long ago, but its lessons and characters live on, not just on screen, but in the hearts of those who still cherish it. That is the true measure of success, and why The Rifleman remains one of the greatest westerns in TV history. When The Rifleman first appeared on American television in 1958, it was more than just another Western. The series told the heartfelt story of Lucas McCain, a widowed rancher, and his young son Mark. As they tried to build a life together in the small town of North Fork, viewers were drawn not only to the action and suspense of shootouts, but also to the warmth and values that ran through each episode. Unlike many Westerns that focused only on gunfights and lawmen chasing bandits, The Rifleman dared to highlight love, honesty, sacrifice, and family. Lucas McCain was a strong man with his rifle, yet he was gentle and patient as a father, guiding his son through the challenges of growing up without a mother. This balance of toughness and tenderness made the show stand out. Audiences across generations could relate to its message. The cast of characters around Lucas and Mark also made North Fork feel like a real community. From the brave Marshal, Micah Torrance, to the fiery Lou Mallory and the friendly bartender Sweeney, every role had meaning. Together, they gave the series authenticity and heart, helping it endure long after its final episode in 1963. Sadly, time has taken many of these familiar faces from us. Their journeys ended, but their legacies continued to shine through the roles they played. Chuck Connors, who played Lucas McCain, was the heart of The Rifleman. Born on April 10, 1921, in Brooklyn, New York, he grew up during a time when sports and determination often provided a way out of ordinary life. Connors was tall, strong, and athletic. Before acting, he had an impressive career as a professional athlete. He played baseball for the Brooklyn Dodgers and Chicago Cubs, and was even among the first players for the Boston Celtics basketball team. Hollywood noticed him for his size, charm, and presence, which soon led him into films. His breakthrough came in Disney's Old Yeller in 1957, but it was The Rifleman in 1958 that made him a household name. As Lucas, Connors showed that a man could be both firm and compassionate, creating one of television's most admired Western heroes. Off-screen, he was a father of 4 sons and married 3 times. However, years of heavy smoking damaged his health. He was diagnosed with lung cancer, and later complications from pneumonia led to his death on November 10, 1992. At age 71, His passing left fans mourning a man who gave television one of its most iconic father figures, a symbol of justice, love, and strength. Johnny Crawford will forever be remembered as Mark McCain, the wide-eyed son of Lucas and the Rifleman. Born on March 26, 1946, in Los Angeles, California, Johnny grew up surrounded by entertainment. His natural charm earned him a spot as one of the original Mouseketeers on Disney's Mickey Mouse Club when he was just 12 years old. That early start shaped a career that would define his life. As Mark McCain, Johnny played the role of a boy learning to navigate life without a mother while being guided by his strong but caring father. His innocence and warmth made audiences feel as if they were watching their own son or nephew grow up on screen. The chemistry between him and Chuck Connors was special and touched millions of families. Beyond acting, Crawford also became a teen idol in the 1960s with songs like Cindy's Birthday. Later, he served in the U.S. Army and eventually formed the Johnny Crawford Orchestra, which performed jazz and music from the 1920s and 1930s. In 1995, he married Charlotte Samko, and they remained devoted until his final days. Sadly, Johnny was diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease in 2019 and later contracted COVID-19, which worsened his health. He passed away on April 29, 2021. At age 75, fans remember him not only as Mark McCain, but also as a multi-talented performer whose gentle spirit never faded. Paul Fix played Marshal Micah Torrance, the lawman of North Fork who became a moral anchor on The Rifleman. Born on March 13, 1901, in Dobbs Ferry, New York. Fix began acting in the 1920s during the silent film era. His career spanned decades, with hundreds of film and television appearances. He was also a close friend and mentor to John Wayne, teaching him techniques of screen acting that helped shape Wayne's career. On The Rifleman, Fix's role as Micah Torrance was deeply meaningful. Micah was a recovering alcoholic who found redemption by serving as marshal, showing that even flawed men could rise again and do good. His wisdom and calm presence added maturity and balance to the show, making North Fork feel complete. Off-screen, Fix married Frances Harvey, and they had a daughter together. Though he worked consistently, his later years were marked by declining health, eventually leading to kidney failure. On October 14, 1983, Paul Fix passed away in Los Angeles at the age of 82. His contributions to westerns and to The Rifleman remain a lasting legacy, remembered by fans who valued his steady and powerful presence on screen. Patricia Blair, who played Lou Mallory in The Rifleman, brought a rare mix of beauty, strength, and independence to the series. Born on January 15, 1933, in Fort Worth, Texas, she began her career as a model before moving into acting. Hollywood quickly noticed her striking looks and confident personality. She appeared in adventure and western programs, but her most memorable roles came from Daniel Boone and The Rifleman. As Lou Mallory, the hotel owner in North Fork, she stood out as fiery, ambitious, and independent, traits not often given to female characters in westerns at that time. Lou's presence added a spark to Lucas McCain's story, and audiences admired her for standing toe-to-toe with the men of the frontier. By the 1970s, Blair stepped away from Hollywood and chose to live a quieter, private life. In her later years, she battled breast cancer with courage. Sadly, on September 9, 2013, Patricia Blair passed away at age 80 in North Wildwood, New Jersey. She is remembered not only for her beauty but also for being one of the first strong, independent women in Western television, breaking ground for future actresses. Bill Quinn's career stretched over 70 years. And while he may not have been the central figure of The Rifleman, his role as Sweeney, the bartender, made North Fork feel real. Born on May 6, 1912, in New York City, Quinn began acting as a child in silent films. Unlike many child actors who faded away, he built a steady career that lasted decades. On The Rifleman, he played Sweeney, a kind-hearted bartender who gave the town a sense of warmth and familiarity. He often provided small but important moments, reminding audiences that the West was not only about gunfights but also about friendships in everyday life. Beyond the series, Quinn appeared in over 200 films and television shows, often portraying doctors, judges,